What's going on, guys? It's your boy Nick, the A24 addict, and today we will be discussing the next film on the list of A24 movies, Spring Breakers. So, Spring Breakers follows four girls who go on spring break, and a lot of things ensue in their trip, especially after encountering a character, Alien, played by James Franco, and it also stars the likings of Selena Gomez and Vanessa Hudgens. So going into this film, I was definitely curious about how I'd feel about it because I heard a lot of mixed things about it, and I think it's has somewhat of a cult following. I'm not entirely sure of that, but I was curious to see where I would be with this film. And I'll be honest, I personally didn't really care for this film. But before I go into my criticisms, I always like to start with the pros when I review a movie. And I feel like a lot of people have the same opinion as me in regard to this, but the best part and the main draw of the film for me is definitely James Franco's outrageous performance as Alien. He's the main reason to watch the movie if you want to. He's ridiculous, he's over the top, but in the best way possible, and his character is very entertaining. And he provides a lot of energy to the film that I feel like it needs. It feels like a slog at times, despite its short run time, and especially being about spring break, you expect it to be somewhat exciting and fun, or just have some type of energy to it. And me personally, I didn't feel that at all. Only due to James Franco's presence did I ever, really get into the film that much. The other characters aren't really that interesting, and the acting's not bad. It's fine from everyone else, but James Franco is definitely the main star of the film. And another pro is definitely I'll give props to the director Harmony Korine. He has a very distinct visual style and some nice direction. He definitely helps create a certain atmosphere, like this oozy, cyclical nature of partying, and it feels like never ending, and you're kind of stuck in it. He definitely helps create that type of environment. Although that's where I'll lead into my first criticism with it, is that despite it having style, some of his directing choices felt a little off to me. Um, a lot of this film, maybe a third to half of it, feels just like spring break party montages. Not a lot of substance, just a lot of people drinking, doing drugs, partying. So I really wasn't invested much in this film. There's nothing much to the characters to latch on to. I didn't feel invested in any of them. They weren't really interesting. Some of them were actually quite unlikable. And that also, in part, is because of the writing. It felt scattered and a bit sloppy. Same with the editing, as I mentioned, with having that very montagey look. Uh, Both the writing and editing just felt a little sloppy, in my opinion. And there was also a segment of the film where there was a lot of background, like repetition as scenes were going on, like narration. In particular, when James Franco just kept repeating, "Spring break, spring break." Well, that's my impression of James Franco for the day, so there's that. But yeah, and then there was another segment that it happened about three times where a conversation between Selena Gomez on the phone with her mom played in the background of multiple scenes. And at first, I didn't really understand what the purpose of this was for. But as I mentioned earlier, I feel like the purpose was to show that spring break to the audience was like this never ending, party that would just go on and on and on, and you just felt stuck in this repetitive cycle of partying and whatnot. At least that's what I think. That's what I got from it. If anyone else has a different interpretation, please comment down. I'm curious to see what other people's thoughts on this film was. And lastly, the ending is just ridiculous to me. Um, with the amount of stuff that some of the characters, like the girls, are able to just get away with and without punishment, like just some of the stuff they're able to do, just wouldn't happen in the real world, in my opinion. It just seems illogical, but that's just me. So yeah, other than James Franco's performance, I just the overall film felt messy and just lacking any structure or substance in my opinion, and it just wasn't for me. So I'll give this film like a 3.5 out of 10. You know, you can give it a watch just for his performance, if you want to give it a shot. But other than that, I personally would recommend it. So thank you so much for watching this video. Up next will be Bling Ring that I'll be reviewing. Next on the A24 list, that'll be coming out soon this week after I upload this video. And as always, my name is Nick, the A24 Addict, and I really hope you guys enjoy my content, and I'll see you in the next video.